Not gonna lie, we said it all last week. We said it the week before that. Be like, don't be shocked when you see the BR winner be something that was so obtainable. All you gotta do is just scroll the F down. It's as easy as that. I mean, we weren't smart enough to scroll to them plays, but don't be surprised, gentlemen. We say it all the time for a reason.
Anytime a team goes off against the Steelers and it's who you need, I am never going to get there. CMC, never getting there. Never was going to get there. So hats off. Congrats to the Ayuk drafters. Man, he looks nice.
Yeah, man. I mean, he looked nice, and you didn't even need him to win. Like maybe when you went to bed, the Ayuk drafter was who you needed, but you didn't end up having to have him.
Even the ex-49er second place didn't even have him. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. We'll do a deep dive and we'll go through all these and some of the tools and stuff. We got the optimal from Chad. We got some good data from Inthreus. We got Chad's data to reverse engineer last week, and we'll go through. I got all my results pulled up. You guys can see how much I donated to the pool this week. Yeah, I did my best. I got on Browns Bengals late. A bunch of smart people in Vegas were telling me that the Browns were going to play spread and that the Bengals were going to be the ones pushing the pace. Well, the inverse was true. The old Bengals weren't pushing much of anything.
I'm thinking about changing my name to Nez Rakes instead.
I love that. That is beautiful.
I am the reason you guys have these awesome contests that you do, because I contribute so much of the rake. You're so welcome. I think Neumy just had to do a spit take.
That's funny. That's good, man. Rename the site too while you're at it. Yo, GMs to everyone in the chat. I'm seeing some winners' names in the chat. I'm seeing I guess we could start there. Shout out to Copper there. I saw first ticket cash to Miami.
Oh no shit. That's what congrats. Hats off.
One of three. Let's go. Big shouts.
Yeah. Awesome to see.
That was a fun sweat.
Absolutely. Let's start here. Good to be back with you, Neumy. Neumy unfortunately didn't join us out there, but man, just so nice to meet so many members of the community. Like, just, you know, we were hanging out with everyone from the Discord, some people who I obviously knew but didn't know, like obviously didn't know in real life, but like so many just like genuine nice people brought together by like the same thing, you know?
Yeah, it was cool. Neumy, you were definitely there in spirit. Got a lot of nice comments about the show from people. It was really cool to get a chance to like talk to people in real life about everything that we do and like that we talk about, but specifically the people that were out in Vegas. It was awesome meeting you, and just to like hear a lot of nice things about the show was really cool. So yeah, it was that was a good time. That was a good time.
Yeah, it was good, man. And it was like everyone that you met was all like brought together by like their shared knowledge of like ball and stuff like that. It really illuminated how sharp the community was. Like just people in the Discord, like just like, you know, facts for days that I had no idea as we're just talking ball, right? And it was like, oh damn, yeah, this community is as sharp as we give it credit. So yeah, big shouts.
Yeah. Fortunately, maybe next year I'll be of age. I can go down to Vegas. So, you know,
be of age.
I could actually, you know, we can actually participate in the events down there in good old Las Vegas. But yeah, next year.
Oh yeah. We'll have a good time. We'll have a good time for sure. We might have to do a little redacted drafting down there as well for the team. We'll have a whole thing. We'll have a good time about it.
Underdog will be there by then. I got faith. Underdog will be there by then, and then we'll be able to draft the platform of the people while we're down.
What I want to know real quick, since we're on Vegas, is how many times did you two look at each other when Justin Watson got a target or a pass? Because every single time Justin Watson was getting, when he got that deep target, and I was like, I already had pictured this ... in my drafts, ready to go, pulled it up, was just about ready to send. Oh my goodness. It was making my entire night. I'm just like, please just get in the end zone so we can just have this. It would make my whole week. Oh man.
Go ahead, Ness. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no. So like we had like a little watch party for not us specifically, but like one of the people out in Vegas hosted a watch party, and we had like it was a big like screen blow up screen like rear projecting. It was cool, but we were like last ones in there, so we were like standing up the whole time, kind of like BSing with people. So we didn't see like a ton of the like the second half of the game. So we kind of missed a little bit of like the just.
Oh, okay.
We were the fun crowd.
Well,
We were
so
the
John
fun
was
crowd.
John was jumping in pools and dancing, basically, is what I figured out. Like that
He was in a pool. He was in a pool. He was
fully
throwing-
closed. Was he fully clothed, doing it like no one in there, and then all of a sudden
He
got
was,
kicked
he
out?
was wearing He was wearing shorts that like weren't meant for the water, but he was in there. He was not going to pass up.
Weren't meant for the water.
Yeah, I wasn't passing up a pool. No, it was a lot of fun. But when you brought up the watch party, I think one of my favorite parts of the weekend that went like so overlooked was during that that whole stretch when we were actually watching the game, but we were hanging out at the back. Is my audio sound all right to you guys?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like getting a little bit.
I have a
echo.
screaming
don't know.
cat in my background, so I'm trying to like.
I can't
hear
even
you
hear
out.
that.
Oh yeah,
No, I can't hear it.
He's bellowing at the top of his lungs. Anyway, continue.
So we're watching the ball game, and it was like Tony's like second or third drop, probably one that led to the interception or whatever. And Pat is standing right beside us, and Crane goes and he sits down on his ass on the ground, throws his arms out like that, pushes his feet back, and goes, "Kadarius Toney, are you kidding me?" Like just like the moment from the draft stream, just like, and did it in real life right in that moment. It was so great. It was so cool.
That was the other thing that I was thinking of is how much just that Nez's little smirk was getting on his face each time Tony was just struggling, and he's just sitting there just like.
And don't forget Sky Moore too, man. I was just like, oh man,
I
those
know.
guys suck.
What? Dang.
I specifically sitting there just remembering the Tony debate. So I'm like, he could be. I wasn't like flag panting. I'm like, he could be. And then he comes out and does that. I'm just like, he might not even be on a team next week. So goodness gracious.
And then the Bears game happened, but then that all the victory lap.
We don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so.
I know. We have a lot of comments in here asking how the hell we get the badges in the comments. Got to be an official badge bro, baby. Got to hit the join button there below the title.
Those badges are looking good on everyone here. Like everybody's got the new get up here. But once you graduate from being a little dog, you get your first badge there. And then they go up in colors from there. True badge bros would know. What do you guys say we talk about the BR?
Yeah, it's time.
Let's jump in. Is it safe to say we all had a losing week?
Yeah.
Barely. I lost like 50 on NFL and then got it back luckily. So I was actually up on NFL with drafts and pick'ems. With drafts and pick'ems, I was up like 150. So I'll take that, like a profit to profit, especially on how bad the plays were. And then I'll toot my own horn. First MLB win in like 3 months. Yeah, of course on the smallest slate ever, but we'll take it. We'll take it. It helps.
Let's go, baby.
Off claps, baby. Big shots.
Yeah, it made fun. But yeah, I love as we get into this, my process, I'm totally good with how it went. A little nugget I put you guys on the Discord was, hey guys, no Watson? Dobbs is hurt? Could it be an Aaron Jones week? And if he didn't injure that quad, Aaron Jones is the RBU. I mean, he already was the RB you need, but he's the RBU. Well, maybe not because I don't think he's in the lineup, but he's the one you specifically need.
I have to, as the resident kinesiology major here, I have to correct you. It was his hamstring, sir.
Oh! Thank you.
I had to.
Thank you.
But no, we both had some like pretty decent weeks in the pick'ems too, man. So, hey guys, I'm just gonna say, if you want to win, you might want to tail the bros. Got some entries coming soon.
Love it, man. Yeah, let's go over. This is the BR. This is the main BR. Actually, I'll start just my exposures because I think it's a good little like lesson and stuff. I kind of slowly later in the week got less and less off. When we did the shows, I talked about how Eckler and Hill were my 1-2 like all week. And then I kind of like saw my portfolio and saw that I had like 40-something% of that. And then I kind of slowly pivoted and started mixing in the other guys, right or wrong. Obviously, Taysom didn't end up working out despite it being what appeared to be like the greatest Taysom spot ever once he got Miller ruled out and no Kamara. But No dice there, but just wanted to like say like, hey man, you can be on the plays and you could definitely have losing weeks by being in the wrong spots with those plays, because my stuff was primarily on the Tyreek stuff. I either had a Chargers run back who wasn't Eckler because it was really hard to obtain, and that kind of killed you, or I didn't have enough Tua. I didn't spread out my stacks with Tua. I focused more on the Herbert side or trying to get the run game side of that and use Tyreek as a one-off. So just like wanted to use that as like evergreen reminder. But let's start with the BR week 1 winner, the biggest prize on the week, the 20K. We see that Tua Hill stack. We see the Calvin Ridley. God, did Calvin Ridley look good. Just like that touchdown on the little curl route, put his foot in the ground and then just blew by everybody after like a little 8-yard route and then like a 2-yard comeback to the ball. It was just beautiful. Bijan, that touchdown was ridiculous. I mean, he could have had even bigger week. Had
sucks
had
he's
he got
RB2,
some of those
man.
goal line. Yeah, had he got some of those goal line touches there. ETR adjusted by the end of the week. They actually had Bijan as their highest projected running back for week 1, which really shocked me by the time we kind of got to lock. It was a really late adjustment, maybe like the last couple hours or something. But yeah. And then the Aaron Jones, as you alluded to, with Watson out, everybody was thinking Musgrave, maybe Dobbs was going to miss as well. Everyone was thinking like Jaden Reed as a spend down option or a cash game play on redacted site. And then it's just like, well, why don't we just play the hits, as Neumy alluded to, and just play Aaron Jones? Like, he's probably their most talented player, maybe Christian Watson, but he's probably their most talented player. So maybe just go to that bag. Yeah. And then
Aaron Jones is their most talented player, IMO.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Hawkinson, just tight end did not matter at all. Once we got Andrews ruled out, tight end just did not matter this week. And you could just kind of skirt by with making sure you had Hawks 7 points.
And he could have had he left some on the table just due to the Vikings play calling and basically like the sets they were running in, because I'm pretty sure Josh Oliver had Josh Oliver had 3 targets. Johnny Munt also like was out there running a little bit. So Hawkinson could have had literally 11 to 12 targets targets out there.
He ended up with 10.
I see a
8,
but
8. Sorry, my bad. Yeah,
I could be wrong. I'm just looking at PFF.
No,
PFF
you're not wrong. You are not wrong. We're taking your word and PFF over mine. Yes.
Yeah. So I see 8, which but yeah, the snaps and route run is everything that we love. And then I like that. And tight end did not separate at all. My number one thing was basically I was not going to Isaiah Likely. And I'm happy about that because I feel like a lot of people were going to do Likely, but then brought in the Galbrain of the next layer of Galbrain of game theory. Are we expecting everyone to then swap, or is a majority of the field casuals that aren't going to be swapping? And then that's what people had the same thought like. And then Isaiah Likely's projection was bumped up. So almost the default swap would have been Isaiah Likely no matter what. Yeah. So there was a lot of game theory to go in with that Mark Andrews swap.
He was the default swap in the other contest, the Royale 2.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's how I ended up with so much Taysom, because I went Taysom and Kittle. I was like,
that was
that's the leverage.
This still swapping still remains like the biggest edge in these contests. You get it on a given week where like having the ability to make your last draft pick, like you are taking the last pick in the draft, essentially doing it after all the information, after everybody's done drafting, and something changes, like you can get such a huge edge. Like, for example, having all that, like, potentially Likely could have been a huge swap there. Like that's a huge, like where there's like 1-for-1 type of replacement type of results there that can go in is definitely a really, really big advantage in these contests. I don't know that I'm seeking out 50% Christian Watson on a week where he's swap eligible every time, but it is still an edge. And like Turn Me Up is alluding to, casuals, like 75% of the field has no idea how swaps work or how to utilize them properly.
Yeah. Which is why it kind of goes into my thought was like, if casuals weren't going to swap to Likely in that mini Royale, which I didn't think they were, then I would have been more on Likely, maybe. Although I was just kind of off from game environment. Yeah, we don't have to get into that. Having 3 healthy wideouts, 9.5 favorites at home. But then it's the fact that you just alluded to, John, in the mini royale, the second $5 that they allowed, his projection bumped up, so he would have just been automatically that casual swap. So getting off of him in that instance was almost
you can't separate. You have to make that all for one type of decision.
Correct. Which is why. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'll make an evergreen point about swapping the onesies positions. Whatever the default swap is, even if you think it's the best play, don't play it.
Yeah,
do not play it.
Good
because Mark Andrews is going to be owned 16.66% in the contest. Even if you think Isaiah Likely is a 1-for-1 replacement, you want that stack equity, blah blah blah, don't swap it. I will say that. Maybe the Likely one's a little different. Maybe that's a little too gal brain for me to just say don't do it. But I don't
know. I have an example for you right here, and it's strictly what you just said. Travis Kelce's out. Who is everyone swapping him to? Noah Gray. You can go look at my one Thursday Night Football lineup that I sent you guys. I'm like, if Tony didn't do anything, it ended up not matter. Blake Bell. I said, no. I go, Blake Bell, if this lineup is that and the tight end is just a he doesn't separate and you end up needing those extra 4 points because you end up seeing it, it's Blake Bell. And just making that little play right there, sure. But the contest size and me shooting for first, knowing that I want first or basically nothing, and in my one entry, I think just knowing that and exactly what you alluded to, not going to that default swap tight end, which was Noah Gray, which is a better play. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going out and saying Noah Gray was a bad play. He was the best play, the best swap. But in terms of the game theory, I wanted to have the very low owned to probably almost 0.1% owned Blake Bell that no one was going to go to. So.
Especially when we're talking about a mean projection that is a factor of 0.8 points or 1.3 points. If you're projecting those two players for a given day with Kelce out, each of them get bumped one target. What's the difference, right? Especially on a showdown slate. Anyways, yeah. Oh, shout out Paul becoming a member here. The time has come. Big shouts. That dog looks good on you, but you know what's going to look better? A badge, my friend. So, anyways, anything else you guys want to say on the winning construction here? I'll bring up the optimal in 1 second. I imagine this team was drafted before the Watson news and before the Andrews news, because he did get a little bit of ADP value in this by getting Hawkinson to fall to pick 31. But early in the week, that wasn't that crazy when people were, he was tight end 2 all week, but when people get in their lane and they're trying to make stacks and make double stacks and they're diversifying and whatnot, middle of the week, call it a Wednesday or something like that, it's not insane to get a tight end fall by any stretch. It'd be way more insane if he had gotten, Eckler on this same roster with Bijan or something like that.
Exactly. In a week where it didn't even matter, the guy that came in second place, for example, took his tight end before pick 31, and it was Pitts, but it would have mattered a little bit. But man, this is definitely one of those weeks where you can kind of feel good about losing, if that makes sense. It wasn't an unattainable build that I've seen some people in the comments stating. It felt good that it was I can get on this. That is I have no problem eventually finding my way to a team like this. So just a good week for BRs, I will say.
Yeah, I don't know if that first one honestly was built before or late, just because of that Aaron Jones pick. And I did a backload of my drafts. For some reason, Andrews and Hawk, all the tight ends were going round 4 after. No one was taking a tight end ever, Saturday night, Sunday morning. So Hawkinson fell to the 5th and 6th multiple times.
I saw that a lot as well
on Saturday night, Sunday morning. So just as we talked to and barbell and yada yada, I don't know, but just knowing the draft landscape and having more information, plus the influx of casual people in here that come in and start drafting, and that's when they're more start willing to draft. It's Saturday night, Sunday morning, when all of a sudden it's hey, I'm going to fill out a lineup is what they're thinking. You can get some of these teams and that because they're just going to come in here and pick their best plays. They're building what you might get in a draft where it's three people's only lineup and they're just going to go willy-nilly, and then you could kind of get something like that. Because he takes Tua where Hawkinson's ADP is, and then gets Hawkinson where Tua normally should go. So
Yeah. We'll see something with Inthrius, and Lex did some data on it and stuff. It's all still small sample size because we've only had like whatever 30 something BRs in our time of like doing this or whatever. But I am really starting to notice the two running backs at the flex, just given the fact that it's half PPR scoring, how important touchdowns are, and the skinny stack no run back or the skinny stack on these larger slates, larger fields. I really think the field size matters a shit ton when we're talking about contests. I'm way more likely to overstack and run double stacks and bring backs and stuff like that on the 6 gamers, like the afternoon onlys, or on like the Thursday Sundays or the Sunday Mondays and stuff like that. Because like, yeah, just like you need more correlation in those, like it's just evergreen statement, but like you need more densely correlated lineups in smaller field and smaller games, like total number of games. You need less of it in these 6-person rosters where we're striving for the optimal on a 13 game slate.
Exactly. I think the way that people are approaching these is getting very, very sharp. But it makes for fun drafting.
Yeah. Shout out the 3 Dog Bowl advancers. We already said Copper in there. Austin Ravens fan and Baby J. All these teams are going to look somewhat similar to that, but even though they were 12 teams, like just to give you an idea of how obtainable the combinations of plays were, the 12-team leagues were basically making the same as the 6-team leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just in terms of like, yeah, we probably all could have found our path to here if we had just been smart enough to put it together. So just speaking to the,
I will give myself a pat on the back for being actually accurate on wanting the a little bit of Packers side of that Bears game. Unfortunately, I think the Cat's like potentially out of the bag. That the either the Bears defense is trash or the Packers have like a pretty efficient little thing going there. But time will tell. But I was hoping to get ahead of that. But
you want to talk efficiency on passers this week? Passer rating is make whatever you will of it as a stat. It's kind of archaic and it's kind of bad, but it's kind of like also just one of those like fun metrics to look at.
We'll allow it to make a point. We'll allow it.
Right. We'll allow it for this point. Can you guess the 5 leaders in passer rating over the weekend? Oh, including Thursday, but I'll give you a clue. Neither of them were in it.
No.
In passer rating?
Yeah, God, I have no idea how passer rating is like.
Jordan Love,
Tua,
Desmond Ridder, Brock Purdy, Tua, Russell Wilson.
The fuck,
dude! Just your and you'll see when we look at I have the points leaders from the week here. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, very clearly.
Yep.
Points leaders courtesy of Chad for this weekend, and you look at some of the names that are up here: Love, Richardson, Deshaun, Justin Herbert, Lawrence. Like, where are QB1s at, right? All week, we spent all week drafting Lamar, Hurts, blah, 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 and nobody scrolled the F down to just do a little skinny stack of Jordan Love, a little double stack of Jordan Love or whatever, right?
Hey, I will say I scrolled down and got too much Russ. But
Well,
hey, I'm not mad at my prop. Like everyone's talking that you're we know. I didn't even think that was that weird. Like it's week 1. Like it's everything's all up in the air. Judy's out going to go and set.
Little Jordan Humphrey was their wide receiver too. It's a little weird.
That was a little weird.
Okay,
Russ is one of those guys.
Sure, Nez. We can take after the game and see Little Jordan Humphrey. Before the game, it was Marvin Mims. You cannot walk into that game and say, yeah, Lil Jordan Humphreys is going to be wide receiver 2. No. Like,
I know.
But no, I mean, you got to just take the matchup being at home, and narrative-based Sean Payton actually gives 2 Fs about everything. He's the exact opposite. I'm going to get the wrong name in my mind. I'm not even going to get it in my mind, where he just simply does not care about anything. He cares about narratives. He cares about, JM put on his podcast where he talked about listening. And I went back and listened to that Sean Payton interview 3 separate times, just derailed the interview to bring up, oh yeah, by the way, the Saints led in offense, led in offense the entire time in 18 or whatever. How long he's been into the Saints? We led in offense. We're great. I went out of my way to do this for Breeze, yada yada. It's like, this dude actually cares, and he cares what the media thinks more than probably any coach in the NFL. So just playing that narrative, I was fine with that.
No, I think it's definitely something to hit moving forward for sure.
And then like the your San Francisco thing was, I was on every 49er except Ayuk. So like I'm direct. I feel fine there, as I had all my Mark Andrews swaps and to Kittle, and I had plenty of Kittle without that. I was on Debo. Was good. I mean, CMC was my third highest back compared to, and then just no Brandon Ayuk. So directionally accurate. We'll take that. We'll take that.
The one little nugget I'd add to that about the Niner stuff, shout out to the FTN crew and fantasy guru Drew, who took down one of the 50K DFS ones. They were all over the Ayuk stuff because Ayuk versus man, Debo versus zone.
Yep.
Yeah. And they played that, they tooted that horn all week, even without Kittle, or even if Kittle was going to play. So little shouts to them being sharp on that one.
Yeah.
I just want to bring this up to illuminate the point in which we've tried to drive home 30 times here about how condensed the player pool truly is and how limited our scope of vision is. And then you go ahead and look at this in the top, let's call it 10 players on here. Obviously 5 of them are quarterback just because the way scoring works, but 7 of them were drafted outside of the top 35. And then you go ahead and you just look at some of the wide receiver position outside the top 35. ATN was a back end guy. Bijan was up there, and then kind of picks 18 through 25, all outside the top 35. Just infinite spots for leverage, and not to be too results oriented, but like just thinking through range of outcomes on a 13 game slate, right? This player pool is so condensed. And, GA alluded to it in the chat here where it's like dog bowl. You're literally trying to win one of 3 tickets, man. Scroll the F down. Get crazy with it. Jordan Love double. Nobody else is playing Jordan Love double. If Jordan Love double smashes, guess what? You're going to Miami, right? We just got to think of what contest we're playing, what is the objective of said contest, and get there, right? Anything you guys want to say about the high scores of the week on here? Anything like that? One more was the stack percentage of Tyreek and the run back percentage of Tyreek. 53% on the run back because everybody's aping into that game environment. Granted, small sample, R sample, whatever. Only 17% stacked because everybody was gravitating to the Herbert side. And then the 53% run back was, well, everybody was building their rosters the exact effing same. And when all the run backs failed, even Keenan Allen, who scores the touchdown, failed, that Austin Eckler combo was basically unobtainable. It was 3% owned according to our sample. And in my 104 drafts, I only had one of them. But just to illustrate the point, diversify the way you're building Tyreek. Even if you think Tyreek's the best play on the slate, it doesn't always come tethered with a run back, right?
Exactly. I think 2 things to take away here quickly is like, 1, great for the brand. This is a great for the scroll the F down brand. I mean, there's a lot of red in that drafted percentage on this list of some really high scoring players. And 2, I think we get an extra week for us to take advantage of elite QBs not going in the first round. It's going to happen sooner than later. An elite QB is going to break the slate, and it's going to be like Jalen Hurts going 2 overall or something like that. And we are getting a discount at elite QB this week. I guarantee it, because when you look at the QBs that are here scoring, their drafted percentages, like you had alluded to, are all very low. So shout out to the field. And I'm just saying, take advantage of the elite QB discount this week.
Like it. Yeah, good shouts there. And we are seeing the elite QB discount in the contest we're going to draft today. We're already seeing it. Like the stacks are always available. And that's in a 2-game slate with 4-person rosters. Okay. I just wanted to bring this up. Inthrius did this. I'm going to post this in the chat for everyone. It's a really small sample thus far, but we are going to continue to track, or he's going to continue and track on our behalf. But just, hey, what did the winners look like in each of the contests in which he entered? So he has all of last year's up there, and then the 5 contests in which he entered this week. The Hail Mary was won by a 1-1-3-1. And then everything else was won by a 1-2-2-1 this week. All of them included a quarterback stack. All of them except for one had a running back flex. As you can see in the tight end position on these larger slates, the battle royales and whatever, the tight end flex has basically never won. The tight end flex comes into play when you are considering uniqueness on the 4 to 6 game slates like this, where he just has some of the playoff contests from last year listed. Everyone can sift through this on their own terms and whatnot. But again, not, take everything with a grain of salt, small sample, but a very, helpful resource as well there.
Yeah.
Any takeaways, boys? Yeah.
No, I despite the small sample, I think it's like very telling that more often than not, you're going to want an RB in the flex. Draft how you want, but I mean, not only does like the data of the battle royales tell you this, but the data from seasons past tell you that the flex spot in larger field lineups is most often filled with a running back. When you condense that, it doesn't really change that fact.
Yeah, I like that. Shout out to Michael here. I saw a screenshot on Twitter there. Oh, actually, I'll bring up that. I think it was the main BR as well there. Main BR. Did I scroll past it? Maybe it was the other one. I saw a screenshot. It was like 3K or something like that. Just wanted to give some flowers to the community.
You want to go back to that sheet here?
I didn't see it. My bad. I don't know where it is, but shouts nonetheless. This one or the other one, Neumy?
The other one, the one with So I was looking at the double stack, just trying to look at what double stack. So I'm here on week 14 because I see the double stacks only with a yes. But again, small sample. Just wanted to check out what double stacks they were. It was a Jalen Hurts with Devonta Smith and Miles Sanders. So it wasn't even your traditional like double stack in which you would think of two wide receivers, two pass catchers. And then it was week 7. Let me just go check that out. Just because I want to, it's interesting that you have this up, but I just want to check it. Main slate week 7 winner was Owl, and that was the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. So of the ones he has tracked here, seems that it was a double stack once with two actual like pass catchers, and then a double stack with the running back and the wide receiver 2, not even with AJ Brown. So just to show that it's interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
And for reference, that week 7 Owl team, the week 7 Owl team was his one and only BR entry ever. One bullet in that contest, and it was his first draft ever.
And he cleared people with like 8 points. He had to get a full 8 points to clear that with. Just tacking on that Tyler Boyd right there. Did it for him, honestly. So just to think like that, the double stacks, depending, you have to hit the complete nuts. Like if you want me to build or put out a scenario like a Justin Herbert with Austin Eckler and then Mike Williams getting there is something that I could see like feasible. And it would have been yesterday's slate in which the environment you think that double stack could have happened. Like to a double stack with Waddle and Hill, like has that ever won or anything, or with running back? Like just thinking about that and like people double stacking and how you're building these BRs in the future. Again, small sample, but that's something that just sticks out to me.
There we go. If we do like the backyard, BadgeBros backyard brawl over here and scroll the F to the right, we go ahead and we find these little breakdowns as well. So he's already done the work for us. Average players ADP greater than 30, 1.9. That's almost 2 players per roster that had someone who has ADP was higher than 30.
That's like very, very telling.
It's so telling. Score unique points. The player pool is so condensed. Giving up ADP values to your fellow opponents doesn't fucking matter. You know how many Austin Eckler plus CMCs I had this week? They didn't matter,
I feel it, man, and yeah, because I had the stand, we had the Russell, we had all that, we had I think Chad already said it in here. I misled him saying Miles Sanders was a good play. I'll say no. I thought Miles Sanders was a sneaky contrarian play that's much different from a good play.
He had a couple goal line carries there where he got stuffed, and then they went for it on 4th down. But that looks like a split backfield right now.
Oh, it does, and it makes me happy about my Chuba best ball exposure. But in terms of that I mean, it's just just feeding. Miles Sanders has as much volume as anyone else. He had more volume than Bijan Robinson. He just not the type of player that Bijan is, so you have to understand that. But just finding those unique points, and you got to find them, and they're there. They are there. What I'm interested to see is where Brandon Ayuk's initial ADP is next week, and if there's recency bias, where all of a sudden it's like, he's in the top 30 now. So I'm really excited to see the recency bias drug hit again.
Yeah, no doubt. No, that's actually a really good point. I actually don't know which part of the slate they are on, if they are on the main slate
afternoon
or not.
They are
afternoon. Okay, cool. Yeah, the Bijan one that was really encouraging for me, I think it was part of Davis's little tweet thread that he summarizes with, I can't find it right now, but
I got
it was something to, something to the effect of targets and routes run for Bijan.
Yeah, so he got 16, Jesus Christ, 6 targets, ran 18 of 22 routes, and it's just hilarious that there were only 22 dropbacks in that game. Like, what a fucking headache this offense is.
Well, we talked about it last week, Nez, where we were like, this game is going to be the game on red zone that is already halfway through the 3rd quarter while the other games are still at halftime, and that's exactly what happened.
4 games were at half, and that game was 5 minutes into the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, dude, it was.
There you go.
It was hilarious. It was the Panthers went all the way down the field, and there was 6 minutes left in the first, and then they just turned the ball over on downs, basically, and then the Falcons just went on their methodical drive. Oh my goodness, it was. Oh man.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And what sucked for me about that Falcons was pouring out for anyone that touted good old Drake London, because yikes, I know it's one game, but man, I'm gonna pound it on that. There's no way he should have been going next to the people in that draft range. He's just not gonna get the volume he needs. He's not gonna get the volume there. And when you're
not gonna get the volume against the Panthers,
when your head coach is out there talking about the 8th overall pick in a former draft, and he says, we're not playing fantasy out there. Do you think Drake London cares that he only had one target? It's like, yeah, I do think Drake London probably does care that he's not going to catch any balls this season.
Yeah, so, they won by 2 scores.
Sure.
Yeah.
That does make sense. It's just that was it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
It's week 1. They crushed the Panthers. Let's see what happens when they need to pass a little bit more than 22 times a game.
Just matters can Desmond Ridder do it?
That's the thing. But for me, I'm still in love with the talent there. You're going to get a big game from Drake London, and it could come when it matters a lot.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think it was always a bet on talent play, but I do see both sides of that argument for sure. Big shouts to Drew here. We can't show the weekly winner stuff yet. I think it's only updated on the app. I just looked. But sitting in 5th right now with Dawson Knox going tonight. So good luck, Drew, man. Let's we're pulling three tutters for Dawson Knox here. Barry Liam's Kincaid and give Drew all the money all in one scoop.
Maybe a little end around.
A little end around to Dawson Knox.
Awesome.
Man, I'm here for it, dude. That's awesome.
Or just they
get that.
They took one out of the Chiefs playbook and just do like a Travis Kelce play at the goal line. Or maybe Knox all of a sudden runs under center and then just takes the direct snap.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him off the Josh Allen points. Trying to help him out.
Really trying to manifest this for you, brother.
The optimal for this week. Thank you to Chad for putting it together. Tyreek in the 1st, and then if you could pair him with Eckler or CMC, which basically just didn't happen. CMC was 0% in our sample. Tyreek Hill was 1% in our sample. You had to then pair him with Calvin Ridley, and then Aaron Jones, Tua, Ayuk, and then scroll the F down at tight end for the Hunter Henry, all the camp buzz, and all the best ball shares slapping right there. one thing I'll say about this optimal is your boy did obtain. I sent it to you guys, a GM. I did obtain in the mini royale the Tyreek, Eckler, and Calvin Ridley start. But being the dumb bastard that I am, I went ahead and paired Eckler with Justin Herbert instead of doing the Tua stack with Tyreek. And then guess who I played at tight end, boys? You're never going to guess it. You're never going to guess it.
Foster Moreau.
I just ate that 0.4 points from Taysom Hill everywhere.
Dude,
that end zone target, and it felt like such a good spot.
Why are they throwing back of the end zone fades to Taysom Hill?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
just
when
line
I saw
them up
that,
and let them run.
I thought that was when I saw that, it's on the back screen. Like it was, so I had the quad box going, and I saw like Taysom all of a sudden like get overthrown. For some reason, I just thought there was like he just like someone blocked the punt and the ball was being thrown. And he was like, I don't know. I'm like, why? There's no way they just do it. And then they show the replay and he does like a fade. I'm like, what play was that? Like what? And then your tweet of nothing like having another white quarterback with an arm sleeve just to have like the cuck of the excitement
every single snap. I'm like, yo, Taysom's in. Like, you know, that's not Jameson. That's not Jameson back there. Taysom's in there again.
It's all about the feels. It's all about the feels.
Hey, the only thing I can say now is if you can get a further discount from tight end 13, well, we're going to get it next week, baby. I'm back.
You're damn right, baby. You're damn right we are. Let's go.
Especially after that Jamal Williams stinker, man.
Dude, I mean, I just don't know why. I just don't know why they didn't hand him the ball more. Like they weren't establishing. I mean, obviously the Titans are a pass funnel. We're going to see that progressively. They are going to be a team that we target throughout the remainder of BRs here as a pass funnel.
Yeah.
I just don't see when you just see Jamal Williams running into the line over and over again. Like, let's get creative with some of these packages and start mixing in the Taysom stuff like last year. I don't know.
It's great for the Kendre bags.
I have I have a fun little next week Monday night. It's going to be a 2-game Monday night football slate next week.
Nice.
So
I love that.
We got Nez's Steelers on it, so Nezzy's going to have the opportunity to draw us as the Browns come into town.
So much Calvin Austin.
No, John. It gets better. Taysom Hill is on this slate. Four team, two game slate with Taysom Hill, baby, against the Panthers.
Well, and we'll double down with that 3-game slate too, with the Sunday times Monday.
Correct.
And I'm gonna have way too much Taysom now.
The tight end pool is gonna be too stacked. There's no way you can pass up a Hayden Hurst after that week 1 with a little Hunter Henry in there. Smythe. You got Njoku, Freiermuth. There's no way you can go ahead and take Taysom.
Oh,
let's go.
Man. Yeah, I heard Taysom was a quarterback. That's a very good shout up, dog.
It's funny when you look at his position, it shows tight end, and then it shows like tight end, but then when you go and like click it, it shows TE13 on his name.
The whole talk of the redacted site season long stuff was basically
I know
switching
that
his designation.
I know that.
Blah blah blah.
But
okay.
I'm saying on Underdog, when you go and look at Taysom's position, it's a TT. He's under the TEs, but it shows QB. Everyone is TE, and then Taysom's like TE13, but then it says QB13. So it's funny.
Gotcha.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So like
couple things while everybody's hanging out here. Do us a favor, hit that like, that subscribe. If you feel so inclined, join up as a member so you can get one of those sweet badges there. But some scheduling notes and stuff like that, what we're talking about. We got some really good feedback over the week in Vegas there from some of the community, some of the people talking about when they like time slots and stuff like that. I think our goal, we got some stuff this week and Nez's parents are in town visiting him. So I think this week might be a little different than what we're going to look like the rest of the year. But I think we're leaning towards something that's a little more drafting before lock. Stylistically. And then we got the Friday show with Pete that is officially named off on the clock, like off and on the clock. So a little double entendre there with the we're off of work, but now we're onto the draft clock to kick off the weekend there. Little Friday vibes, little TGIF vibes there. That'll be a lot of fun. But I think we're going to do our main Battle Royale primer, like our full, like, hey, it's go time breakdown on Wednesdays. And I think that's going to be on the Underdog Daily channel. And that will be that. And then the Thursday night football preview. Our Mondays will be the winner's circle plus the review plus what we're about to do, which is the Monday times Thursday slate, and maybe even talk about the Sunday plus Monday and what we have live and that sort of thing. Fridays with Pete. And then when hoops rolls around, some form of like Tuesday, Thursday, maybe even WOB Wednesday mixed into that football show to be doing something like that. And then up in the air right now about some potential other, unhinged or something like that, where we are doing some drafting prior to lock on maybe a Saturday or a Sunday or something like that. But just wanted to give the lay of the land for everyone who's tuning in right now. Anything to add to that, gentlemen?
No, good programming note. We appreciate all 83 of you in here right now. And yeah, it's going to be a very, very fun football season.
Reminder to everyone that we can. Oh. Sorry, Neumy, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, no, 25 likes. Like you just said, 83 watching. Pathetic. Terrible, pathetic. Just little tippity tap helps us, goes a long way. Like you guys said, just hit that like button, sub if you haven't, notification bell for these programming notes. You're going to be able to know right away on your phone, device of choice, when we go live. And then, join up if you want to see this. You like what you see, hit the little join button, get that badge, get the perks, more to come. Awesome.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with Tyler in the chat here. That's going to be a lot of fun, especially after linking up in person, talking about some of the stuff and just, you like even Nez and I never met before and stuff, meeting one another. Yeah. Like that. We both said as we were leaving like Vegas and stuff, I was like, man, we're fucking reinvigorated, re-energized for the show because we feel something now. We know each other better. Right. Like, it's pretty cool.
Hey guys. I am a real person.
That's coming. Hey, that one's coming. That one's coming in the future. Just a reminder to everyone throughout the season. I know Pete did it on his show this morning, but you can live sweat the BBM leaderboard for the regular season entries. It showcases the top 10,000 entries. I have not seen if I have a top 10,000 one right now. I do not. I am getting absolutely roto-rugged in the BBM streets right now. Let's see. Maybe our boy Nez has one in here.
Yeah, right. Come on, dude.
Oh, Nez has got one.
Oh, let's go, Nezzy.
Yeah, Nez has got one in the top, and no Neumy bullets up yet.
I was gonna say if one of my 10 bullets is in there, yikes, that's nuts.
Hey, look at Mark. Hilo's right up here, 29.
Of course,
he's got a good team.
That's to be expected.
Love to see it. Hey, actually, no. Another shout out here is baby Stevie. I saw was up here.
Dude, let's go. So,
and Copper? I mean, it's early.
Jesus,
it's early.
Oh, Carlos.
Yeah. Sharp, stay
40,
sharp.
45 as well. Oh, there's Copper pick.
Carlos.
Right below
Carlos
Sweet Jimmy.
Yeah.
Look at this community, man.
Carlos, we're gonna see tonight. I swear to God, we're gonna see Carlos tonight. It's a 2-game slate. Just get used to seeing that screen name at the top here.
We already saw Ketchup Stain. Shout out the fellow boy. Yeah, took down the 2-gamer to start the season. So down a little bit. There you go. Yep, that one.
This one, Thursday, Sunday. Yeah, I only got 5 entries in there. I was on the plane or whatever, couldn't draft, and I took Kelsey in all of them just because I thought it was a leverage play. But yes, shout out Ketchup Stain right here. Beautiful. Got the coveted Mahomes, Tony Pollard plus Amon-Ra. Very hard to obtain there. And then Noah Gray was in the optimal there. David Montgomery looked really nice on that goal line carry, or I guess, inside the 10-yard line carry, making 2 guys miss in the secondary to pound it in there. And then MVS, the receiver you needed from Kansas City, apparently, although you probably would have been fine without any of them. Yeah, cool. Beautiful. What do you guys say we do tonight's slate?
Let's do it. Fantasy Dysfunctionals in the chat just wondering, how do you see that leaderboard you were just at? If you just want to go and show that one more time, John, that leaderboard.
The BBM one?
Yeah.
I put a link in the chat there, but it's literally if you just go to Underdog Fantasy / Best Ball Mania 4, it does pop up, but I'll drop the link again in the chat there. There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
We still got some stuff live. I commend Underdog for what they tried to do with the Primetime Palooza last night. we've alluded to this in the past rather, that it is very hard to fill contests on Sunday once lock happens, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the afternoon only has been a staple for a long time. Everybody's kind of been about that afternoon only, and they know it's coming. I don't think people anticipated how big that this contest was going to be. And I commend Underdog for trying to make it like hashtag as big as it could be. But yeah, we saw a bunch of overlay in that one, and I ended up just being like, holy shit, there's 30 minutes till lock, and this thing's 48% full. And I auto drafted 35 of these. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm working with right now, but I believe Tony Pollard was my fourth highest owned player. Then Brees, Lazard, and Waller in there. I had way too much Daniel Jones, may not be able to recover from that. But I'm hoping with this Josh Allen exposure that I kind of have it with some Pollard. I know I have a Pollard, Diggs, Allen team somewhere, so that's probably my most live bullet. But
I like that. Yeah, I my top 6 people on this are all from the Bills Jets game.
Nice.
With Danny Jones and Dak being my lowest quarterback. So I have a feeling I can go into this game feeling I could at least double up or something on my money or something like that. But I don't know what was going on with those drafts. I got 4 in a row Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson teams. And that just seemed, I know with the way it went, but then also 2 of them had Gabe Davis. So I'm just really excited to see if maybe that game can just be a little more competitive and a little more points scored in the faction on the offense for that game. Because what was it? They had 2 scores in that game last night. They were both, it was a defensive and special teams touchdown. It was like 16 or something to 18 or something to 0. And there was like actual offensive touchdowns in that game. The leaderboard had like 14 points going into the near halftime. So yeah.
I mean, I think that's the spot you'd want to be, is like, what a surprise we're seeing Crash Rich up here again. I think he had another good score this weekend. Good quality player on the site, but I think we want to have Pollard plus players remaining right now would be the best spot to be. But I'm also kind of scared about this weather tonight. We saw what happened last night, how slippery the ball was in the Sunday night game. They're playing at MetLife again, so I don't know. A rainy field that was 101 baseball all over again. But yeah, heavy rain and storms pregame right now. Obviously, MetLife Outdoor Stadium. We saw how ugly the end of last night's game got, like just straight downpours in there. So this is good precursor leading us into the next slate that I've been really targeting the Vikings game. Vikings and Eagles on this primetime Palooza slate here. 17K total entries. We're already at 82%.
I don't think I have a single team.
I don't have a single team in here, and we need to freaking get off the air so I can get some teams. Because I want to draft some of this.
Yeah, when drafts is now drafts. But just some precursor notes. Pretty strong, in my opinion, quarterback slate, obviously, for a two gamer there. Justin Jefferson had been my number one last night when I did, we can just check in. I've done 11 so far, so nothing crazy. But I was prioritizing Justin Jefferson. Biggest note, which I can share with everybody, is the projections have drastically changed between last night and now. The second highest projected running back on the slate last night was still Penny. And Kenneth Gainwell was buried down here with a projection of 4, below the tight ends, below the whatever, after he got 14 carries and looked like the leader of that backfield. I played none in the BRs. I did get to some Swift in the BRs. I actually played Swift in one of my $100 lineups on yesterday. Just because I was like, wow, this news is so late and this might be all the leverage you need in a good spot where the weather was bad. Anyways, just want to put it on everybody's radar right now that if you are taking Gainwell at market right now in the second or third round, I have 10 teams with him in the 6th. So just FYI precursor, if you're only throwing in, call it 5 bullets, I think I'd full fade Gainwell. Like just from a game theory standpoint.
Good shout. Really good shout. That's the That's the one thing we have to account for with these when the projections update. It would be cool. It would be, I mean, it would be smart to have, like, when this contest comes out, do you have the availability to download it right away, the CSV, and then the next day potentially download it again just to see, you can see where the delta between these have changed. So you can immediately go, okay, and like just in case, like if you haven't hopped in any, just right when the contest opens, if you're not, you're not gonna be able to do it, if you could download it just so when you can jump in, you can see where it's changed. And like you said, where you want to be fading and potentially getting, exploitative and not be taking Gainwell at this because people have Gainwell in the 6. So yeah, it's a really good shout. And that's what we need to be doing when we have no ADP slates.
Yeah, absolutely. Quarterback looks strong to me. Tight end looks very strong, and the tight ends look mispriced right now, to be honest. I think Hawk is way too low. I've been taking Hawk a lot in like the 3rd round and stuff like that. Those targets are going to they're going to play fast, and their defense is bad. And even if they're trailing Mega, I want them on the pickup there. Who's banging the table?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my cat.
I thought that was your dog.
Yeah, do you hear that? Like, yeah. That's my apologies. He's just he's going nuts. So
no, GA, I'm not pushing any narrative here. I'm just a man of the people, sharing the facts there that maybe there's some leverage and whatnot. And then the flip side of it is a lot of people also took Penny really early. So there might be a little bit of leverage in creating some uniqueness, and then taking Penny in the 6th and hoping he's active after what they saw last week. And okay, that didn't go as well as planned, kind of deal.
GA is the most low effort troll ever, but it's why we love him.
Yeah, I'll give him his moment every time. I'll let him play the hits. Tight end feels deep because I think you can take some like touchdown scoring one-offs in the 6th round, like just with all 3 of these Conklin, Knox, and Kincaid. For me, the biggest decision point on the slate is what to do at running back. Do we think it's Dalvin Cook, or do we think it's Breece Hall? And do we think the Madison volume is real? And which Philadelphia running back do we like? That sort of thing. And then some leverage introduced with, if you want to go the Dame Harris, or even scroll the F down to Latavius Murray as who's going to be the goal line back. Do you guys have any leans?
I have 44% Damian Harris in the ongoing Primetime Palooza.
Hey, same. Okay.
Yeah, so
I was back.
And I would do the same. I would do the same right here. I'm not going to believe like James Cook is the bell cow until we see it. And it's either, and I really think Damian Harris is going to have the usage. And if he's not, then okay, then I'll eat my L. But James Cook being the top projected running back is like the easiest fade for me on this slate.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. I think Madison would be my highest projected. ETR likes Dalvin over Breece for what it's worth.
I'm in lockstep there.
Yeah. Has anyone checked? I don't know if the Fantasy Life ones are up yet. I know they get some stuff fed from them from PFF. So I don't know if the official data is ready to go yet, but we'll sift through some of that on Wednesday perhaps. But I was just thinking out loud in terms of projection, which running back they preferred this evening.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have that up yet.
Okay. I'll take a look in a second. Yeah, and then wide receiver position, guys. Do you have any leans outside of kind of like, we got a whole bunch of alphas at the top here.
Yeah.
And then what do we do with the rest of it?
Well, so the thing that immediately stands out for me is you said you're going to that Viking side of the game. Or sorry, the Vikings game in general, not the Vikings side. I mean, we can go back to remember what happened. Everyone knows what the Vikings did last year Monday night against Philly. We know
Kirk.
Primetime Kirko comes out. That defense absolutely ate us up. Offense was the most inept thing you could possibly see. What are we going to get again?
What was the final score in that game, Neumy? Do you remember?
It was a lot to a little. Let me get it here for a second. It was 24-7. So it was just absolutely, they just manhandle. It was just more of a manhandle than the score shows because we were never in it. That being said, the way this Brian Flores defense is going to operate is now we're going to be attacking the quarterback, and it's going to be an interest to see how this game goes for the Vikings in terms of how they're going to play defense when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Are you going to attack him and then allow some of these playmakers to have one-on-one? Jalen Hurts gets the ball on field and now there's no one there. Or are you going to sit back in zone in which Jalen Hurts have the ability to pick you apart and still get on the edge and run? For me, it just feels like the Eagles are going to beat us down once again, coming off a loss against the Bucs at home. And now this 4-game stretch in which the Vikings have to play, you could flip it and just say, hey, we have a little bit of an edge, chip on our shoulder. I just don't know how much that matters in terms of the actual talent on these teams. The Eagles are going to destroy both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line. They're going to that big mismatch. So it's going to be really interesting to see that. With that being said, I think Jalen Hurts might be my 101 in this draft. So when I was just saying that, it's just really interesting. And now you bring up the fact that the Jets and the Bills have the weather
concerns.
It's just, I don't know what going right back into Philly and seeing how we're going to play. Maybe we have a better game plan. Maybe we do something different, but the O-line didn't change at all. Kirk literally the first 4 series had like 10 pressures, 2 sacks, drop. They're going to get absolutely feasted on. So, just wanted to bring that out there that this just seems like just an absolute beatdown yet again for the Vikes.
Okay. So, I mean, if we play that, like we got to think through like the showdown lens, right? So last night, for instance, on redacted site, Pollard captain, defense captain, something like that. And then a 5-1 kind of build was the winning strategy, right? What does that look like for our 2-game contest on this site? If you play Hurts 101, you're not getting AJ Brown to fall back. You might get Devonta to fall back. You could probably stack them with Goddard. Are you guys aiming to, run a skinny stack of that and then mix in some Vikings bring back? Are you looking to onslaught Philly and just guess on which running back you need to pair with Hurts? What would be your guys' lean and optimal way to play that if that's the game script you predict?
What do you think?
Can you click just the full like everyone on there just so I can kind of see how the draft would kind of pertain? Yeah, so it would be getting Hurts at the 101 is kind of like how you said that, and then coming back, hoping you get Devonta Smith, or just going ahead and getting that Dallas Goedert, or just running Hurts solo. What can also just be that we saw it last year. But yeah, it would definitely be get Hurts there, and then I think the route would to try and be scoop up 2 wide receivers right away, and then just let running back fall, dude. Like Nez was alluding to, with get the Damian Harris and just hope that. That all looks like a lot of the guys that can score the exact same with having Cook and Breece Hall having that duo backfield. What's the biggest? Is the gap that different between James Cook and Damian Harris? So where they should be that big of a projection gap? Like, I don't personally think so. I agree with Nez. So it would be get Hurts, try and get one of those pass catchers, if not on the way back, double tap wide receiver because it will drastically fall off, and then just kind of build it out that way by just getting that one-off running back in the later rounds. That's how I can see it just from an initial glance of building these out.
Okay. Just for some context here, F Labs as well, projecting Dalvin slightly ahead, but they are all within like 1 point or whatever. So I've been mixing and matching who falls. This narrative too from Brett Boy, the sauce narrative on Diggs.
I like that.
Bump to Davis on the other side. Maybe Hardy's the guy you need in the slot. Maybe they use Kincaid more so than the bearish preseason narratives to win the slot there. I like this point from Paulie Chips in the chat here, that we saw what the New England tight ends just did this week versus Philly. There's a bull case for Hawk as your 101 tight end.
Yeah, and
go ahead, Neumy. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, the only thing is basically he's not going to be in 21 personnel ever, but that doesn't matter at all because he's the second target on this team, and he's going to get his no matter what. We saw it with the 8 targets, 36 route runs, 48 snaps. Like, if slowly KJ Osborne will go down, and Hawkinson and Addison will be those second and third when you look at every single week in terms of snaps, route runs. So yeah, I like that shout with Hawkinson.
I like the name you brought up there with the Addison KJ stuff. Everyone's going to gravitate to. Obviously, we think Addison's better. We think he's the sexy new toy. He scored that touchdown over the top. Blah blah blah. KJ outsnapped him. So if you want a little bit of leverage on the field, if you're going to be running some double or some bring back on the Philly stuff, I think KJ is going to go overlooked and under owned in this contest just because Addison's name appears above, and that sort of thing.
Last year, KJ had that wide open touchdown that Kirk missed. Wide open, like would have been 60, 70 yard or something. Maybe I'm over. It was 50. It was 50 yards at least, and it was a wide open that Kirk just missed him on. So yeah, I mean he's like you said, 58 snaps, 44 routes run, 6 targets. Like definitely a name you can shout out there. Because as an early season play, we know the rookies get in there late, but right now it just seems like it's going to take a little bit for Addison to just bump KJ out of there like that. So
can I ask you guys a little trivia? Well, not trivia.
Yeah.
Well, just a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Yeah. The total for Minnesota versus Philadelphia. What would you guess if you're an odds maker? What would you set it at?
A total for that game. Let's say
51.5.
Oh, I was gonna go much lower. I was gonna say like 44.
Really?
Are they giving the fight? I don't know. I'm scared. I'm totally scared off this whole entire fight.
44?
I assume they have the Eagles beating us down. That's what I think.
Well, okay. So let's do spread. What do you think the spread is? I'll go back to total. But what do you think the spread is?
5.5 Eagles.
7.5 Eagles.
7.5 Eagles.
Wow.
The total, I'm with John. I thought it was going to be in the 50s. It's 48.5.
Okay.
I just smiggity smacked the over on that. 48.5 is
there you go.
You're an absolute genius. 48.5. Yeah. I got to be honest, man. Yeah. I'm not sure. I need this Eagles defense to show me that they're good. And I think we know about the Vikings.
Yeah, and maybe it's just, I gotta take the bias, step out, just literally take the sour out of my mouth and just watch Baker Mayfield beat our boys at home, it's, all that. But it's just knowing our last matchups against the Eagles. The last 2 matchups against the Eagles have just been absolute beatdowns in the NFC Conference game and Monday Night Football. Kirk's going there again, but maybe if we want to play narrative based, maybe they've Kevin O'Connell's second year it's going to match up and put his guys in the right spots. Figure this out. Justin Jefferson isn't going to be completely just held to one of the worst games of his career. So there's a lot of different things in narrative based you can bring about that. And yeah, maybe this Eagles defense is a little worse than what they thought, but that comment that right there. People were alluding to the Packers and the Bears, and the biggest mismatch being the Packers O-line against the Bears D-line, and then the Packers D-line against the Bears O-line. It's the exact same thing for the Eagles D-line going against this trash can of a O-line that the Vikings have. And then the same thing. I don't know. You guys weren't watching.
Does that okay?
Okay, go ahead.
No. You go. Keep going.
It was just Ed Ingram on one of the fumbles, like literally pulled so fast that he just smacked the ball out of Kirk Cousins' hands on a pulling play. Like our line, like
Cousins fumbled 2 times.
Twice.
He fumbled the snap
but
twice.
One of them was not hidden at all. It was just Ed Ingram punched the ball immediately out from the left when he just pulled too early and got in Kirk's way. So.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. We're getting like super nitty gritty and niche here. Who's your guys' favorite running back on the slate? Because I think it's a really, really tough, important question.
I might say Damian Harris in terms of price and the way he's going.
Okay. Nez?
As of right now, if everything is going to be the same, it's a tie between Gainwell and Madison for me. I'm kind of worried about some funny business with the Eagles backfield where it's like it's like they're the new Patriots and it's impossible to call who the running back 1 is there, but you're going to want the running back 1 for the Eagles against the Vikings in this game, but I think it's Madison for me right now. I'm pretty into this. I'm pretty into Madison having the majority share of this backfield, like pretty handedly. And I want to see the Eagles like show me that they're a good defense.
Okay. I want to do like a rapid fire summary of everything. Favorite leverage right now for you guys is like Dame Harris down here.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Any other scroll down name that you guys will be clicking? Are you clicking Ty Chandler? Are you clicking Latavius Murray?
No.
Are you clicking Boston Scott?
I'm not clicking them, but like Chandler definitely has leverage. Latavius Murray, I think, definitely has leverage. And if you want to get really cute, either Michael Carter or Izzy Abanikanda having some sort of role in this game, if they are really, really pumping the brakes on Brees, they're going to have they're likely to have 4 running backs active.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not on Alexander Madison, and I will not be on Ty Chandler as well. Just for that Ty Chandler shout, 3rd down, he only had 1 snap, 2-minute drill, 1 snap. Otherwise, he's only on the field for early down plays. And if we're thinking game script, and the Vikings might be down a little bit, I don't know if and one game just looking into that. Madison needs to show a little bit more, and needs to just be more efficient. But yeah, he definitely has like the lock on that kind of feature back role for now. So. Okay. In terms of having that role, Madison seems to be the clear-cut bell cow of this slate. It just, the matchup is not that great.
Okay. Favorite scroll the F down at wide receiver, guys you think that could factor in, guys you want to get exposure to, kind of from the Osborne tier downward.
I'll go with KJ, and then I think someone that could easily find his way into an end zone, gadget play, whatever, it could be Mecole.
Yeah. That's a fun one. There's also the Cobb narrative, like classic, like, hey, bring your guy to the Jets. Like he gets like 4 targets, but 2 of them happens to be in the green zone, and he just like finds his way in or something like that. I think like Hardy for me is like, I know the camp shit's good. I know he might line up in the slot and play. I mean, we saw this with Buffalo last year, where we play them on these showdown slates because they get like 3 or 4 island games a year. And we play them on these showdown slates and we go, yeah, we're so fucking confident it's going to be Isaiah McKenzie this week. And then we get kicked in the dick because it's like a Khalil Shakur week or whatever, vice versa. I just want to remind everybody that like, we think we know, man, like there were so many showdown slates last year where we were so confident Isaiah McKenzie is like 25% owned because he goes in every single draft. And then it's the Khalil Shakur week and like vice versa. Right. So, I mean, get freaking weird with these last couple scrolls, right? Nez, any other names you want to throw out there? I mean, like you want to talk about tops off defense of like guys who can just like go deep, get 1 target and break a slate that's a 2-gamer like this. These are the profiles of the players, right?
They are, and it's probably why like I'm not like super profitable, because like with Quez and Olamide, like I'm never getting there. But I can talk myself into like Khalil Shakir like rug pull where we think he's dead and it turns out he's like he's out there in 3 wide receiver sets and we're like, oh shit, like they actually like Khalil Shakir. That could happen. I think this is like the slate to do that when we actually don't have any real data on what they really think. I have trouble I know they brought in Hardy. Maybe I'm just a little bit in denial that he's like a real fixture in that offense. I want to see it first. I don't know.
That's fair. But seeing it first, Nez, doesn't get you any money, man.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
but
this is the Brandon Ayuk all over again.
But if we're gonna take Hardy over Khalil Shakir, like, I feel like those range of outcomes are incredibly similar. And if one's being drafted more than the other, I'll take the one less drafted.
Okay. I don't think there's any scroll the F down guys on Minnesota. Both Naylor and Powell played 0% of snaps.
No.
Powell was fun at times when he was with the Rams and like used in that gadgety role where, when guys were out, they would create some design touches for him, but I just don't see that being a thing right now with the Vikings. Anyways. Okay, cool. I like it. And then the break the debate at tight end for me with the back 3. Basically, this is the evergreen debate that we just keep having over and over. Will you guys be scrolling past Conklin at all? Or are you guys kind of sticking to 5 tight end player pool and then just deciding between Knox, Kincaid, and Conklin on each roster?
Yeah. I will not be scrolling past Conklin or Uzoma. Probably won't be going to Uzoma, although that's interesting. I don't know.
He's very interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting play just out of there that could just get you. But I'd rather just stick to that pool. For me, I think it's going to be more Knox over Kincaid. That just might be an exposure play for me, where it's just like, hey, I want to capitalize on the tight end variance and just don't want to spread that out. I just want to call my shot on my rosters and get that touchdown. So it might be Knox over Kincaid for me.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys
Josh
are all in play.
Oliver.
I don't really have much to add there. I think those guys are all in play.
Marcus
Oliver,
Shem.
no, thank you.
No.
I mean, Oliver could get there just if he's going to be playing in the 21 personnel, and all of a sudden you see him, and then all of a sudden it's just he just gets those targets.
You mean 12?
20?
Right?
Yes, sorry, but it's just, and then with that, it's just a matter of those just seem like design plays to him. Yeah, and the 2 targets or 2 catches for 6 yards and maybe a touchdown I can do without. So.
Okay, so let me rapid fire summarize all this. That we think we like the Thursday night game more than the Monday night game, correct?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
With that weather that scare that you just showed me and me looking it up over here at for Roth, yeah, it does not look fun for that game at all, especially on that terrible turf of MetLife.
Okay. Just to bring to everybody's attention, Quez didn't factor in a huge way. But Quez was the #1 benefactor of Goddard's absence last year. Not that we're anticipating a Goddard absence, but just like it was interesting that we've seen him in the past get like a boost in usage when they needed a guy like that. He played 79% of snaps last week. That's the archetype of a guy who can break a 2-gamer like this. Boston Scott only played 12%. 62% of the snaps were played by Gainwell over the weekend. So for me, I was leaning into the Gainwell stuff, but now that his projection has changed, might start deviating a little bit. But we like that game. We think wide receiver, obviously, when you compare the 2 at the top, you get left with one of the worst quarterbacks. But when you compare a quarterback and the wide receiver at the front end of the draft board, that's where you guys are gravitating toward.
Yes.
Yep.
More or less.
All right, let's rock.
To me, man, this slate is like there's like very few decision points here. I think we touched on all the cute plays. Otherwise, man, this is another like pretty solid primetime slate. I mean, it's early in the season, so we're getting that as far as the nice matchups early on. But yeah, this is I mean, really fun quarterbacks here. Like we're seeing some really sick GM first 2 picks in the comments. This is cool.
This is a fun little narrative street. Like if you're watching US Open final, and if you're watching Hard Knocks the other day, it's Uzuma and Rogers hanging out. They were sitting beside each other at the play on Hard Knocks. They were sitting beside each other at the US Open final. They gave him 3 years in the bag. I don't know, man. Like, I
mean, hey, if they're gonna give us an edge, you got to take it. You just got to take it, man. That's why we watch Hard Knocks. Oh, nice.
Oh man, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Hardy on like 99%. Wow.
Okay. All right, Polly.
Yeah, everyone's calling. I'll calling James out for being biased.
I love
Rogers
that.
in the picture.
I love that.
That's good. Okay, so Hertz goes here. We're poised with the evergreen decision of do we like Josh Allen enough to take him over the field, even though we like the other game environment, or do you want to take like AJ Brown without Hertz, knowing that AJ Brown plus Hertz exists?
I think I'm AJB.
I think I'm AJB. Yeah, give me these guys against Vikings secondary.
Like he just screams 20 plus fantasy
points. Yeah, and Murphy is going to most likely be in the slot. That's where he plays. So our best coverage defender is going to be in the slot. Otherwise, we have big, lengthy guys out there that are tall and big, but they lack skill.
So now poses the evergreen question: when you give Allen and Diggs to the guy on the corner, he usually takes Allen and Diggs, and then we are left with: do you double tap Philly, or do you do the other side of the ball game, or other side of the slate?
Yeah, Garrett Wilson for me. I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty weird in yesterday's little 2-gamer, and I took Garrett Wilson at the 101 a couple times. So
the board, baby, we're back.
Pretty silly when Tony Pollard puts up that, but with that weather, but
not silly at all, man. This is Aaron Rodgers. He's played through a whole shitload of bad weather, and the Bills defense could absolutely dominate, but man, it's Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I think has very, very strong potential. It was a no-brainer for us. That would have been nice though.
Yeah, that would have been good. Like I thought Chipsy goes 3 Eagles stack there for sure. Okay, so we are going to have to take one of the. This looks like a Conklin plus Rogers team now, unless you guys want to get crazy weird with it. So I would suggest Madison here.
Madison or Dalvin for me.
Sure.
Let's take Matt. Okay, I'll sell you on why we should take Madison almost every time here, because like we are going to be forced into a decision at tight end, and it's either going to be a run back or a stack. And I think I almost always prefer it to be a stack because of just like the correlation of like importance of touchdowns being scored at the tight end position with your passer. This is basically already set up to be an Aaron Rodgers team, and I'm not sure I want it to be an Aaron Rodgers plus Cook plus Wilson plus, like, it just feels like such a thin path.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I will
But
say
now
though,
we're posed.
man. Yeah.
Now we're posed with the Goddard.
See, with Goddard, like you can, I lean Goddard. Like, I'm sorry. I know it kind of like screws up the correlation, but
we can make it back though, because we can make it back with. We can make it back with another Jets wide receiver here, or we can make it back with a double tap at tight end, or we can, if Brees comes all the way back, we could do something funky.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could have even done like a KJ Kirk, but there goes Kirk. So, okay, if we get Lazard, to me this might be Lazard, but I mean I don't know if you are how you feel
and do a double tap of the Jets wide receivers and play it through Lazard. I mean I'm fine with it. I think it's I think it's a very strong team. I think we're better off to scroll the F down in terms of uniqueness and go with like McColl or Cobb.
McColl, Cobb, or Conklin, or get a double tap tight end. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Just do something funky because I think Lazard makes a lot of sense on this team. I think Lazard's a thinner path to first.
Yeah, no, he's going to be selected way more than Mecole, and range of outcomes are likely to be similar, but we'll see. Mecole could end up like not sniffing the field because of Cobb. We'll just have to see, but it's worth a play in this contest for sure.
I like it. Okay, so we end up with the Rodgers team on our first go here. I'm gonna scroll out just so can you guys see that now? I guess you can't see the last round anyways.
Yeah, so let me
no,
guess.
You can't.
Actually,
yeah.
Guess.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I was not gonna lie, I'm playing around with the solver and stuff like that before doing these things here too. And Optimizer is going crazy for Cobb. So it's a bit of a price point thing, obviously, but yes.
Is he like 800?
I can't remember right now. Actually,
yeah.
I can.
Not important. Was just curious off the top of your head.
Yeah, I remember.
So I think also, by the way, before we dip out of here, I would like to get a. Oh wow, okay, that's still low.
No, showdown.
Yeah. Want to get a pick'em entry in before we dip, and also I'm not sure. I would hope they do another in-game special tonight. They did them like all yesterday. That was really sick. Hopefully everyone was able to capitalize on that. Get some of those freebies in. If they do it again, don't want to miss out on that. It's a freebie, and some of those in-game pick'em stats are. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I think if you watch the game and you can maybe kind of take advantage of some of those stats, man. I did pretty well yesterday. I know you hit an in-game Jefferson on.
I had all the in-game specials, man. I'll put myself on the back. Yesterday, I know we're first faced with a pick here. I'm gonna go ahead and say there's a guy by the name of Justin Jefferson, even though it's either JJ or Hurts, and I. It's tough for me to pass up the wide receiver volume on the slate after saying Hurts, like just trying to game theory it and thinking Hurts will be optimal from the one-on-one. But it's like, if you're going to go Hurts from the one-on-one and leave yourself with no JJ or any of these, it just seems foolish.
The other thing about Hurts at the 101 is Hurts exists with AJ
Yeah,
Brown and
you're
with
right.
Devontae Smith and with Goddard.
You're right.
So it's like you're instantly committing to either running them naked or not. And like if you do this, Kirk always falls to the 4th or the 5th, and you can
Yep.
just go ahead and take that skinny, and then you get some fun stuff also where like if this guy takes quarterback or something like that, where he wants to get ahead of it and does like Garrett Wilson plus Rodgers, then we instantly get like an alpha falling back to us too, and we don't have to worry about quarterback until the 6th. So
Yeah.
some weird things can happen in rooms, and you're usually a better benefactor if everyone takes quarterbacks and you take non-quarterback than vice versa.
Yeah, but about that in-game pick, I will say they're pretty, like, if you're following their Nezzy, as we're back up on the clock again, so I will get to that story here in a second.
Jeez, yeah, this is a
so this is the evergreen decision.
Yep.
So I like Hawk, and I like setting
Hawk,
up Kirk double. And then do you guys have a lean on who the second pick should be?
Bully tight end. No.
We can. If you want to go bully tight end, we sure as shit can.
This is the most viable where bully tight end is on these small slates.
I gotta say, dude, I like it. I'm sorry.
And it's a run back.
A run back, yeah.
And we know the Gainwell leverage as well on the other side, right?
All right, let's do it. All right, talk yourself. All right, fine with me. To that quick, I'll get it out of here. So it was Dak Prescott had a higher lower of 3.5 rushing attempts, and he had 1. And I was going into the second half. I'm like, well, that's easy. That's going to be a lower.
Yeah.
And then Saquon had a higher, like, he needed like 45 more rushing yards. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go lower on that one.
Nice.
And then Tony Pollard, 5 receiving yards. He had a higher low of 7.5. He needed 2.5 receiving yards. I'm like, oh, sure, higher. And then with the pick 'em, it was just watching the game and going, well, this is how it's going. I don't think the script is going to change that much in the second half. Like it's going to be even worse weather. Boom. So yeah,
like obviously, like they could have mounted a comeback or whatever, but when you just pay attention to the game flow, it's like these are the optimal selections, and it's like they throw themselves at you. So just stay glued to your pick'em lobbies, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
For sure.
Okay. Go.
This is what I wanted.
So we could go monster stack and go like Addison Kirk here.
That's what I kind of think.
Yeah, you like it better than we can push. We can push running back because we're going to be playing the other game environment through it, and at least one of them has to come back to us, given the positional designation. The question was whether you wanted to push. I mean, like this team on the 4 corner here, he sets up so well for Rodgers plus tight end. So maybe we didn't have to take Cousins there, and we could have pushed him to the 6th pick. And then, but I don't know what bonus leverage you add to that.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm looking here and hoping with is that I'm hoping that we can get a running back to fall that's not in this game environment, and then we can kind of just say, hey,
exactly,
that those touchdowns in a crappy game environment, raining a lot, comes on the ground from a running back that people are deeming as the clear-cut RB2, which could get goal line usage. So
you can't, Sickly Air, can't wait to hear the last of the story tells. We stacked the game that has a total of 8 more points than the other game on the same slate.
And then in a crappy game, we hopefully get a running
Minnesota.
What are you talking
Minnesota
about?
Onslaught with Dallas Goedert as the 2 touchdown bring back. Double tight end makes you unique, and then the game environment that scores the touchdowns. Like now, the question is: do you take Swift with this, or do you take Penny with this, or do you just go, hey, one-off Dame Harrison?
I think it's one-off Dame Harris. I think it's
Okay.
I'm interested to hear you, because I think me and Nez are on the one-off Dame Harris, because I like the one-off Dame Harris from that game environment where it's like, hey.
Yeah, but John's the one has to make his counter argument here.
Yeah, go ahead.
The counter to this is we've painted such a positive picture of Minnesota smashing, which means Philly's trailing or Philly's chasing points or Philly's playing fast because it's a high total environment. And who's the pass catching running back as the bring back to the game slaughtering?
That's fair. I mean, like,
I like Swift.
I think Swift represents like a mystery box.
Yeah.
And one thing that I will say on this is, like, I think there's some funny business with the Eagles backfield. Like I said it earlier in the show that I'm not convinced that like Swift is dust because of this game on usage, but it is kind of weird. It is kind of weird. So I mean, I'm not totally against it. And I like what you're saying. When we make this strong bet on this game, like why deviate at any point?
Right. I think both are viable.
I think both are viable for sure. I think you can spin zone both of them. I think the dense correlation plays better on the short game slates. And if this was like a 6-game slate, I agree with your guys' take more. But when we're talking between like 2 RB2s where like, what's Dame Harris's like mean projection and ceiling projection? Well, like Dame Harris's mean is probably like 5 carries, 18 to 24 yards, and then you're just hoping and praying for a touchdown. Whereas if you paint the game script of the other side and we're doubling down on that game environment, well, then if Minnesota gets out to the fast start, they're up 14-0. Both those touchdowns run through these wide receivers. Well, now all of a sudden it's pass catching running back sets, and we hope they utilize him over Gainwell. And there is some funny business. I don't know. It's a little more like, it's definitely, I think it's thinner. Like if you wanted the floor, you take Dame Harris. You want the floor, you're taking Harris. But yeah.
I'm probably propping up Dame Harris as I'm thinking too much. Like he's an instant smash out there. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking, he's definitely going to get the goal line. Where in my mind, Dame Harris has already scored a touchdown tonight. So like that's where I'm at. But I need to just take a step back and be like,
their best goal line back is still their quarterback. And that's
I know.
Me,
I just don't think
the same's true of
whatever I think
Philly
doesn't matter. I feel like they've made a concerted effort, just seeing it. And it might just not matter when it's on the goal line. They're like, "Hey, we need points. Like Josh, you good to go? Cool, you're healthy." Like Josh gets the points. We're not going to hand it off to the running back and do all this. Like we can easily sneak it in with the best sneak quarterback besides Jalen Hurts. I just think that hey, we want to try and preserve a little bit of Josh, and maybe early season it's when we're like, hey, we won't maybe put your body on the line just yet, even though that's the way Josh Allen plays, and it might just not matter.
Especially
the way it will.
Especially against probably the best defensive line in football.
Right. I think on the bright side, we're going to learn. On the bright side, I think we're going to learn pretty early. And this is like, hopefully the game that we do learn this, if they are going to do that or not, Neumy, which like we are both kind of betting it might be Dame Harris season and not Josh Allen at the goal line. I think we're going to learn this game, what their intentions are at the goal line. And then we can make the better decisions from there. But I got to jump pretty soon. You want to get a Monday night's pick 'em entry in?
Yeah, let's do the entry. Do you have something pulled up, or you want me to do it?
Oh no, you got it. You're already there. It's like 2 clicks. Just refresh your page, it'll take you right there.
That's true. I do want to just
see that.
Yeah. So there is a Rogers one to add in.
I probably already hit it.
I do just want to say something that's like kind of evergreen in these contests, and why I like the scroll the F down and why the uniqueness matters is we just built that team, and Chad goes, I got the same team, but it's KJ and Addison. So it's like straight up just a 1v1 versus our lineup right now. Adam said something earlier in the chat. He's like, I drafted this exact same team, but instead of Goddard, it's Hawk, which we actually all kind of agree we prefer better. So it's just like this thing with like such a dense like combination of players that you have to do stuff like Cooper's alluding to right here. I drafted a lineup with 0 good players. Like, just do it. Just fucking do it, man. Like, range of outcomes on tonight's game. Like, yeah, we all want points and we all want fantasy points. There's a chance that both these games play to like a 40 total. You go short week of rest for the Thursday night game, and Thursday night games are always lower scoring, and the Vikings don't fully figure it out yet. And then you look at tonight and you go weather, bad ball, establish the fuck out of it. They spread around the backfield touches on both sides to 3 running backs each. There we go. Right. Here's an interesting note from Brett Boy that look at that. The passing yards for Allen have already dipped and nothing has changed other than the weather.
Yeah. Sage move.
Yeah. There you go. Do you guys have anything that you like specifically pertaining to tonight? We will take this Adam Rodgers. Hey, that's a buddy of mine. Aaron Rodgers, free square, right here. And then what else do you guys like?
I have Josh Allen on the higher in an entry for his rushing yards.
Okay. Bad weather, scramble job, in on it. Neumy.
Trying to look here. Go, you guys do another one because I'm still.
I'm on
looking
the
over here.
on the lower
like-
on Brees rushing and receiving, but go ahead.
Lower Brees rushing and receiving. I like
yeah.
Brees tonight. I'm not gonna lie.
58.5 is way too high
For a 3-way split. If we get Izzy active and we get whatever active.
They basically told us that Brees Hall is like not gonna
limited touches.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm there. If we are believing the ADP of Hardy right now, we should probably be on the higher on this receptions number.
I like that.
The other one I kind of like is I like this Dawson Knox one too.
I was just gonna say I like the Dawson Knox higher. That's the one thing that was kind of zoning in. I just think he's the starting tight end still.
Well, who else do we like?
53.5. Yeah, we can just like keep looking a little bit.
If we remove, see if you're on Brees, I was more on the Dalvin side then.
I feel like Azoma.
I don't think
should we give for James the James pick?
Dude, 9.5.
The U.S. Open narrative for James.
What do they have? What do they have Conk Daddy at? Is he even there? 23.5
is
interesting. Yeah, he's 23
Yeah, just a classic reminder for everyone that like just looking through this stuff as part of your process is like really impactful to the decision making in drafts, right? Because like everyone's taking Hardy. Everyone's, man, we're taking Hardy. He's our third wide receiver that we're taking from the Bills over and over again. He's going to be 20-something% owned. Oh, by the way, his higher lower is only 1.5 catches. We are literally just betting on a touchdown from this guy. Literally just pick a different guy to do the 1.5, right?
Mm-hmm. Literally.
It just took the Jack Stoll one.
Oh my God! There's a Jack Stoll pick'em.
Chris is on Hardy.
I mean, we can't do it because we're doing Monday night. Because
he's
on Thursday.
Oh! Got you. He's on that.
I don't see it. It must be on redacted site.
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys say? Okay, so
let's ride, baby.
Bad weather. Josh on the ground. Rodgers free square. Hardy actually plays the slot, plays 70% of snaps. Dawson Knox because of the camp narratives and because we don't think Kincaid is fully there yet. And it kind of correlates with Hardy because Hardy's playing the slot. So Dawson is the other tight end on there. And then the CJ Uzomah tennis narrative. Yep.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Max entry is $10.
Nothing screams a primetime game without having at least 2 tight ends in your pick'ems.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Go ahead, copy that one, put them in the chat there, and go ahead. Oh, he took him in the draft. That's what he was alluding to. Oh, I guess we could have looked on the defensive side of the ball too. Yeah, good reminder that there are in fact defensive player props available out here. We are just not smart enough to do it. I don't have that
Rodgers special. I'm gonna do what you just did. Or is it on desktop only? Huh. Now it's showing. Okay.
I don't know.
Let me ride with the boys and then throw another one in there and let's do a little Milano. If there's anyone I trust to like tell me who's a good defensive pick 'em play, it's the hockey guy in Brett. There's nobody knows defensive pickups better than the hockey guy in
the puck guys.
Did you say that you have to go to desktop to get this? Because I don't have the special. I don't know what's going on right
now. Go in the comments, click the link that John posted, and I see it now. I don't know.
Maybe you guys used it already, or it might have been. It might have been one of the ones. Okay, then it might have been one of the ones that was like you had to retweet the account or you had to sign up on the form, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember. Anyways, we're sandbagging ourselves for not fully knowing what's up with the underdog pick'ems.
I know.
We're outing ourselves verbally right now. This is a good one here with the bad matchup and weather correlates with the Allen under. That Allen lower there would be a good one there to put it with Diggs. That's a sharp point in the chat there.
Oh no, I clicked the link and it's not there, but it's there. It shows. So for all those that maybe don't have the
Better hurry
special,
up.
click that link
Just
and
click it. Just click it.
it'll be there.
Yeah,
It'll
it was
be
a
there.
form. It was a form you had to fill out or something like that. There you go. Chad's on top of it for us. Chad always know. Yeah, Adam saying the higher on the rushing yards. That is what the models are telling us right now. The models like Cook over Hall. They really like Cook just in general. It's fractionally different, but it's definitely in play. And the last thing I want to address, largely speaking, Chris, weather is fully overblown. There's a whole bunch of good stuff. Chris Allen did a whole bunch of good stuff on Fantasy Life about it. He also did, I believe, a ship chasing one with Pete, Pat, and Ben there, talking about how weather is just traditionally like overvalued until a threshold. And then Mark did a lot of stuff with us last year with the 1 week season stuff and the 33rd team stuff, where basically the tipping point is like 25 miles per hour in wind, and then it's relative to the direction in which the stadium is facing as well, and all this stuff. So tonight is not wind, tonight is rain. Obviously, slippery ball, bro science, blah blah blah. Deep down the rabbit hole, there is probably some correlation to getting the ball out of your fucking hands fast when it's rainy. I'm not smart enough to know exactly what it is, but largely stating a lot of it's overblown, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was Jamie. It was apologies here. I didn't realize it wasn't for everyone, but the Rogers special was available if you filled out the Underdog Pick'em Twitter thing. So if you just take that one out and then add the Diggs one that Paid alluded to, there's some positive correlation within your entry there as well. So take the Rogers special out if you don't get it. Put the Diggs lower in, and you're in business. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's tie a bow on that one, gentlemen. TBD on tomorrow, everybody. We're still ironing out the schedule, and Tuesday is kind of like a weird day. It's like in between BR and whatever. But just so everybody's aware, last year the common practice was BRs drop as soon as Monday night kicks off, and they usually drop for about an hour with the double up contest. That then sets the ADP. So if you want to go true sicko mode on week 2 BRs, I'd be locked and loaded and ready tonight. Although I have no inside information, they did run a poll on it to see whether people would prefer if it was drafted or if it was dropped on Tuesdays or Wednesdays prior. So they might be pushing back the timeline of week 2 BR. So stay posted, stay checking those lobbies, because that'll be there's ADP value to be had that can be never again then found if you are the most prepared, the early one for that ahead of the primer episode on Wednesday. Okay. Anything left to say, gentlemen?
I think you crushed it, man. Good week. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and good luck on your primetime stuff tonight.
Yep. And baseball's not over. Baseball is not over. The pods will be advancing soon, and we will have some playoff sweats, and there's still a baseball slate to draft on the site right now. So don't forget about the baseball, right? Here you go for the sickos. There you go. One nugget as you're going out the door. Jared Kelnick is back today.
And the water coolers are out of the dugout.
Yeah, the water. Yeah, very good. Very good. All right, do us a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell, that follow on your way out the door. We will do a better job of servicing the audio listeners. I forgot to read off both those teams, even though a lot of people told us we had a lot of people in Vegas told us that we actually do have audio listeners. So that's pretty cool. But nonetheless, do us a favor, go subscribe to that Underdog Daily channel. That's where Pete's going to be residing. That's where Animal is residing right now. And that's where we will be residing in the future here once we settle those days and stuff like that. But on behalf of Nez, myself, everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.